This is Tianqian Star, in this world. Cultivation is no longer about seeking immortality or alchemy, but rather a high-tech industry monopolized by super conglomerates and sex. The so-called spiritual root is a bio-superconductive chip implanted in the spine. The so-called sphere is a cyborg equipped with a high-frequency particle oscillation blade. The so-called tribulation is resisting bombardment from orbital cannons. A lowly commoner, Li Pingyan, by chance, implanted the one and only genuine artifact from an ancient cultivation civilization. The Jade Disk of Creation, Nano-Quantum Edition.
Others by cybernetics, spiritual roots, and realms. I have no money, so I have to make my own.
This batch of third-grade fire tribute cybernetics starts at just 80 million spirit coins, a bargain. While those scions of the conglomerates are still spending exorbitant amounts on third-grade fire tribute cybernetics, Li Pingyan, in an underground garage in the slums, using a pile of scrap car parts and the Jade Disk of Creation, somehow managed to hand-build a controlled nuclear fusion dantian.
Success. The flesh is weak, ascend through machinery. Today, this humble Taoist will show you what a true magnetic tribulation and fleshly sanctification really are.
The so-called spiritual energy is known as high-dimensional dark energy. Its circulation rights are controlled by the super conglomerates and sex. The so-called golden core great powers are humanoid weapons, with high concentration spiritual energy matrices implanted in their hearts.
The flesh is weak. Ascend through machinery.
3 days ago, Li Pingyan was just a mechanic in the lower districts. He was for picking up this mysterious metal box that fell from the upper districts. He desperately fled back to the secret base. Although he survived, his chest was not opened by any striking sword, severely injuring his heart. Without advanced medical insurance, can only wait to die. But Li Pingyan did not die, because that mysterious metal box didn't contain any high-tech chip. It was the one and only genuine artifact from an ancient cultivation civilization, the Nano-Quantum Jade Disk of Creation. The ancient artifact, upon contact with blood, transformed into nanobots and merged with his central nervous system. Post-spiritual/electrical energy is depleted. Cellular activity is declining. Without spiritual energy replenishment, brain death will occur in 12 hours.
12 hours is more than enough. Scum of the Azure Cloud, Zaibatsu, calling me a talentless hack with no superconducting spiritual roots, saying I'll never even touch the threshold of cultivation. Since you monopolized the spiritual energy, turn it into a luxury only the rich can afford to absorb. Then I'll just create my own spiritual energy source.
Li Changqing takes a deep breath. He picks up a sharp scalpel, a thick cable connected to a worn-out battery, and plugs it directly into the spinal interface at the small of his back.
Jade Disk of Creation. Initiate micro-fusion ignition.
Ding! Post-command received. Nanoarrays are reconstructing atomic alignment. Target fuel, depleted uranium crystal 321. Deep within his dantian, a nanotech array controlled. Controlled nuclear fusion, born in a space of inches. Ding! Massive energy influx detected. G refining first layer. Fifth layer. Unlocked EG refining layer. Nuclear power station establishment underway. Current dantian reactor output, 1%. Estimated operational lifespan, 500 years.
Haha. Technology-based cultivation, indeed. Cultivation by plugging in tubes and installing prosthetics. This humble Taoist handcrafted nuclear fusion today. Let's see whether your cyber-flying swords are faster, or my nuclear explosion spiritual energy is mightier.
Life signs confirmed. Target is alive. Coordinates locked. You inside, listen up. Hand over what you stole immediately. We might preserve a data backup of your brain. Lucky you're not dead. But daring to steal from the Azure Cloud Zaibatsu, a stinking rat from the Undercity like you, isn't even worthy of being fuel for the recycling plant. Asking for death. Xiaoxia's eyes turn cold. Several smart flying swords on his shoulders instantly transform into silver streaks of light, piercing towards Li Pingyan.
Sword control art from second-order integration is indeed enough to run rampant in the Undercity. But unfortunately, you know nothing of the essence of spiritual energy. Jade Disk, activate the electromagnetic pulse field.
What? My swords. What EMP weapon did you use? Is it possible? How could the slums have equipment of this level?
Weapon? This is the protective energy I've cultivated for 20 years.
Li Pingyan extends his right hand, relying on the absolute power granted by his nuclear power dantian. He grabs Xiaoxia's proud mechanical right arm in one grasp.
Cyber cultivation. Taste my dragon's breath. Nuclear blast breathing. Ah, satisfying.
Vaporizing them along with the Gauss rifles in their hands. Even the wall behind them. A deep, charred hole several meters wide had been melted into the ground.
The Chinyan Zaibatsu, the lofty cyber immortals looking down from above. Get ready, because I'm coming for you. My path to ascension through nuclear fusion has only just begun.
What kind of monster are you? What level of cybernetic modification is this? A microplasma cannon? Weapons of this caliber are only for the inner elders of the upper city. A gutter rat from the lower city. How could you possibly have one?
Cybernetics? That cold, soulless scrap metal dares to call itself cultivation? This is internal alchemy. Do you even understand the golden core, great Tao? The unity of all methods with nature?
Golden core? You're insane. There's no such thing as ancient cultivation techniques in this world. If you kill me, the Chinyan Zaibatsu will hunt you down. My optic nerve has already uploaded your biometrics to our sex mainframe, the Supreme Lord Lazi's database. Even if you flee to the wastelands, an orbital cannon will blast you to dust. External network connection request detected. The Jade Disk of Creation firewall is active. Enemy digital data upload intercepted. Initiate counterhack.
Upload to database. System. Follow his connection. Referral of Genius Possibility for these. Spirit Stone allotment for this month to me. Oh, and swap my face with the young master of the Chinyun Zaibatsu.
You're a hacker too? In this cyber cultivation world, hackers are called array masters or talisman cultivators.
I dabble a bit in soul-searching techniques. All right, time for you to go. May you achieve cyber ascension soon. Dealt with the small fry, but this place is compromised now. I'm at the peak of the 9th level of chi refining. The spiritual power from the nuclear reactor in my dantian is sufficient, but my physical vessel materials aren't. Forcing a power increase would just turn me into a walking nuclear bomb. Need higher grade alloy bones, heat-resistant biomuscle tissue, and pure nuclear fuel. Only then can I complete my foundation establishment physical reconstruction. How to hit the black market. Might as well use those donated spirit stones to buy some good materials.
10,000 Swords Pavilion's latest model, the Gale 3 Particle Flying Sword. Just 998 spirit stones for the thrill of sword flight. Installment plans available.
A job's come up.
Well, if it isn't Pingin. Heard you take off the Chinyun Zaibatsu. Thought they'd have tossed you into a reactor by now.
Thanks to you, there are 50,000 low-grade spirit stones inside. All set of titanium tungsten alloy bone coating, 3 vials of high-grade cell activation fluid, and that decommissioned cooling rod from Starship you bragged about last time.
Kid. Those things are made for Foundation establishment stage heavy mech warriors. You're just immortal without implanted spirit root. Coating your bones with titanium tungsten alloy? You'll die from the pain of rejection. And that worship cooling rod. It's used to suppress ultra-high temperature reactors. What do you need it for? To use it as a fire poker?
That's none of your business. Do you have the goods or not?
Of course I have them. Titanium tungsten alloy nanocoating, high-grade activation fluid. This cooling rod was stripped from a decommissioned frigate. It's filled with absolute zero liquid helium. If you dare crack it open, a 100-meter radius will turn into an ice sheet instantly. All the goods are here. But 50,000 spirit stones isn't enough. This cooling rod is military contraband. You need to add at least another 20,000.
Hiking up the price right on the spot. The shell of your cooling rod is even rusted. It's obviously a refurbished piece of junk.
Heh heh, then get lost.
With just these 2 piles of scrap metal. I do business by the rules. I said 50,000, so it's 50,000. You don't want to play by the rules? Then this poor Taoist will have to teach you a lesson in physics.
The good fortune Jade Disk spins rapidly inside his body, channeling nuclear fusion energy to his palm.
Nuclear fusion output at 3%. Palm thunder, fire.
You're a thunder-attributed single spirit root immortal cultivation genius. And no, even a Foundation establishment stage thunder cultivator couldn't release this level of electricity instantly.
What thunder cultivator? This is the power of the thunder god. Take his 50,000 spirit stones. As for the repair cost of those 2 robots, consider the tuition for this poor Taoist teaching you about scientific immortal cultivation.
Li Chongqing carries the heavy metal case and slips through the tangled slum alleyways like a ghost. After hearing what calling him, he doesn't head back to the old abandoned garage. Instead, he goes deep into the number 13 landfill. Inside an abandoned heavy industrial smelting furnace, the heavy metal case is thrown to the ground. Li Chongqing takes off his radiation suit. The crudely stitched wound in his dantian has completely healed. Not even a single scar left behind. It's the powerful cell regeneration ability granted by the good fortune Jade Disk.
The regeneration is indeed strong enough, but it's still not enough. System, analyze the current match between my physical body strength and nuclear fusion power output.
Ding, analyzing data. Kernel, Ethan refined. Nuclear reactor output power, 1%. Physical load, 98% warning. Equals greater foundation establishment. Your entire skeleton will be crushed by high temperature and psionic storm in 3 seconds. Which will then trigger a nuclear blast, leveling everything within 10 miles to the ground.
As expected, his mortal flesh is weak. That saying still holds some water in this cyber world. It's just that they chose to replace their parts with cold prosthetics. But I'm gonna take this flesh and blood body and temper it into a true god-demon body.
This is the bone-tempering pill of the cyber immortal cultivation world.
Let's begin.
He grabs a syringe and jabs it straight into his own spine. This isn't some gentle marrow cleansing process. Instead, it's countless titanium tungsten alloy nanomolecules, forcibly injected into my bone marrow and the surface of my bones. This is inhuman agony. While Li Pingin grits his teeth and bears it, not making a single sound. 1 vial, 2 vials. After all the nanocoating serums are injected into his body.
Not enough. Keep going.
All of Li Pingin's skin has turned into an eerie dark silver.
Physical strength meets requirement. Next step, solve the problem of demonic deviation.
Li Pingin takes a deep breath, reaches out and picks up a decommissioned coolant rod from a star battleship inside the box. This thing is pitch black all over, exuding a terrifying chill cold enough to freeze the air. It encapsulates absolute zero liquid helium inside. Originally, it was military equipment used to cool down overheating main cannons on star battleships.
System, guide the liquid helium inside this coolant rod to construct the ice heart jade pot formation within my 8 extraordinary meridians.
Command confirmed. Micro-reorganization of the creation Jade Disk initiated. The collision of ice and fire, the symphony of extreme cold and extreme heat. A thick layer of frost has formed on the left half of Li Pingin's body, while the right half emits a high temperature hot enough to warp the air. Physical modification complete. Superconducting cooling circulation system established. All indicators meet the breakthrough requirements. Activate nuclear power foundation establishment.
Yes. Crank the reactor power up to 10% for me.
Breakthrough successful. Realm, first layer of foundation establishment, third layer of foundation establishment. Current reactor power, 10%. Estimated endurance, 5,000 years. New abilities unlocked. Fusion spiritual introduction, anti-radiation.
This is foundation establishment.
Just by the interaction between the massive fusion spiritual energy in his body and the planet's magnetic field, he achieved what traditional immortal cultivators call skywalking flight.
This feeling of being in total control is absolutely wonderful.
Warning! Warning! Target source detects ultra-high intensity energy lock. Source identified, Jingyan Zaibatsu's near-Earth orbit defense system. Weapon type, Divine Punishment 7 high energy orbital ion cannon. Target locked. Host, 30 seconds.
Finally, the bait's taken.
In the ancient cultivation world, I defy the heavens to break through realms.
In this cyber world, the Zaibatsu monopolized the heavenly law. So, this orbital cannon bombardment. Is this my cyber tribulation? Good. Come on.
Li Pingyan did not choose to evade. He slowly ascended, directly shattering the abandoned furnace's roof. He knew under the orbital cannon's lock, running was futile. The entire junkyard would be vaporized in an instant. Standing proudly in the midair of the undercity beneath the floating metropolis. Facing the impending destruction beam head-on. Attack countdown, 10, 9, 8.
System, overload the fusion reactor to 150% power instantly. Concentrate all energy into my right fist. 3, 2, 1.
In the sky, a terrifying crimson ion pillar over 10 meters in diameter, with a might to annihilate all, descended like divine wrath. It slammed down fiercely from the heavens upon Li Pingyan. He merely let out a wild laugh, facing that beam of destruction, and threw the punch condensed with 150% fusion reactor power. At this moment, all the poor in the Undercity watched the sky in terror, thinking the apocalypse had come. But Li Pingyan, standing at the storm's eye, facing this cyber tribulation from the sky, did not deploy any magic treasure, nor did he retreat a single step.
Cyber tribulation? Is that all?
Host detected successfully withstanding Divine Punishment 7 orbital cannon strike. Realm fully stabilized, foundation establishment, 5th layer. Current physical damage, 12%. Superconducting cooling system. Initiating automatic repairs. Just as Li Pingyan prepared to land, 5 psychic corvettes tore through the clouds, with deafening engine roars, appearing menacingly above Li Pingyan. Who dares to cause such intense energy fluctuations in the Undercity? And even repel the Divine Punishment orbital cannon? No signal feedback from any spirit root chip. Suspending purely by physical body? Impossible. Even body cultivators from the 100 Refinement sect could not withstand an orbital cannon with flesh and blood. What kind of monster are you?
You're the second batch of delivery. Boys the Jingyan Zaibatsu, sent to die. Go back and tell your Zaibatsu's board. From today on, I've claimed all the spiritual energy in the lower district. Who dare stop me? I'll blow up whoever's charging pilot is.
How arrogant. Just a lowly ant at the bottom. Dare to challenge the majesty of Jingyan immortals? All frigates. Activate the Jusian sword formation. Blast into smithereens.
You want to talk about firepower coverage? Let me teach you what the real 10,000 swords returning to the sect actually is. Numinous Jade Disc. Activate the Great Magnetic Gravitational Field. Great Magnetic Heavenly Tribulation. Mighty Dragon Sword Formation.
It was a shocking scene worthy of being recorded in the history of cyber immortal cultivation. Tens of thousands of discarded flying swords screamed as they tore through the air, charging straight into the Jusian sword formation of the 5 frigates. Warning! Shield energy dropped to 30%. Left wing armor breached. Those are just junk from lower district. How can they have this kind of destructive power? Form the battle formation. Activate the main cannon. Activate the main cannon immediately.
Too slow, old fool.
No, don't.
Cyber Golden Elixir. Let me see what brand of battery you've got inside. With this little bit of energy, you dare call yourself a Golden Elixir expert? Sword splits the heavenly gate. Today, I'll show you all what it means to tear a starship apart with bare hands.
Accompanied by a roar like that of an ancient behemoth. That 100-meter-long psychic frigate, costing hundreds of millions of spirit stones to build. An expensive meteor shower of steel rained down over the lower district junkyard. After this battle, the notoriety of the human-shaped nuclear bomb will definitely sweep across the entire floating city. A floating ring fell like gorgeous fireworks onto the number 13 landfill.
Phew, 15% output power really hits different, but my body can barely handle it.
Leaping and walked toward the wreckage of the fallen main command ship. As a qualified immortal cultivator, what's the most important thing after a battle? Looting the corpse, of course.
This is the brain of an inner gate executive of the Qingyun Consortium. There's definitely loads of good stuff in here. System. Initiate DPAC. Copy the entire database of this old fool's spiritual consciousness and memories for me.
Cracking Qingyun Consortium Class B firewall. Crack successful. Reading data. Obtain inner gate cultivation technique of Qingyun Consortium. Qingyun sword art. Obtain virtual account balance of low-grade spirit stones. Obtain top secret intel, design blueprint and access key for the lower district 7th spirit vein fusion pump station.
The 7th spirit vein fusion pump station.
It's not the very energy from famous mountains and great rivers at all. Instead, it's a planetary level machine that goes all the way through its core. A super fusion pipeline that draws dark energy from the core.
What a wonderful immortal paradise that drains our blood.
He's already built his foundation with nuclear power now. But if he wants to turn the miniature fission reactor inside his body, upgrade it into a real artificial sun, the energy required is an astronomical figure. Just relying on collecting scraps refined depleted uranium, he can gather enough even in hundreds of years. But what if he can directly drain one of the plutocrat's spirit veins dry?
How can get massive energy free and break through the Golden Core stage? You can also cut off a major blood supply line of the Qingyun Consortium. This kind of justice for heaven good deed, this poor Taoist can't refuse it.
Then he flashed forward, turning into a blue-white lightning bolt, racing toward the direction of the number 7 Spirit Vein pumping station. At the same time, 10,000 meters up in the sky. Can someone tell me, why did the 5th escort formation that went out for a routine cleanup mission got completely wiped out in the garbage dump of the lower city? Deacon Chanha had the latest 3rd order golden core matrix implanted. Even if he ran into a 4th order mutated beast in the wasteland, he could escape unscathed. Could it be a rival consortium? Wanfo Heavy Industries stealth warship ambushed us? It's not Wanfo Heavy Industry. This is the last optical footage, sent back before the Heaven's Punishment railgun was destroyed. A young man who isn't even wearing a set of exoskeleton armor, shirtless, facing the 10-meter thick ion beam head-on, blasted it to pieces with one punch. Right after that young man manipulated all the garbage in the sky and turned it into winged swords, ripped 5 of our frigates apart with his bare hands, and tore out Zhao Chanha's mechanical heart with his own hands. This is an ancient physical cultivation technique. It's impossible. Even an ancient physical cultivator can't withstand the high temperature of a railgun with just their flesh. Inside his body, there's an extremely terrifying energy signature. Could it be some unknown miniature nuclear weapon? This kid didn't just destroy our fleet. He's also provoking the Qingyun Consortium's absolute rule over the lower city. If other consortiums find out about this, our Qingyun stock price will definitely plummet. Transmit my order as Secmaster. Issue a Heaven Dao wanted notice with SSS level bounty. Also, deploy Qianzi, Secmaster. His cyberpsychosis hasn't stabilized yet. Once we remove the suppressor, I'm afraid he'll slaughter easily along with target. I only want that lunatic dead. Kill everything connected to that boy. Damn it, the higher-up suddenly issued a highest alert order. Even activated the air defense shield. Is the lower city going to revolt? Who knows? Anyway, not even a fly can get into our number 7 pumping station. The guard hadn't finished speaking. The 10-meter thick superalloy blast door above the pumping station suddenly exploded. Enemy attack. Maximum threat level.
Sorry to interrupt your cultivation, folks. This humble Taoist is a bit short on funds lately. Just wanted to borrow a puff of your Chable's spiritual vein.
Open fire. Cease fire. Target vital signs lost. Confirmed elimination. Conventional firepower can no longer shake the black-haired youth now.
This humble Taoist titanium tungsten golden bell shield is passable.
What? Physical defense test complete. Current realm, foundation establishment, 5th layer. Immune to conventional firepower.
Warm-up's over. Time for the main event. Jade Disc creation. Lock on energy source. Prepare the Great Chi gathering array.
Command confirmed. What's he doing? Stop him. That's the spiritual vein core. If it explodes, half the lower city will collapse.
Cyber cultivation Chables. You love sucking blood, right? Today, this humble Taoist will let you taste the feeling of being drained dry by a reverse star absorption technique. Suck it all.
Detecting massive infusion of high-dimensional dark energy. Micronuclear fission reactor reaching load limit. Initiating form transition. Commencing construction of a golden core level fusion matrix.
Not enough. More.
This is Li Pingyan's golden core formation. No rare treasures needed. No alchemy furnace required. He uses heaven and earth as his furnace, the spiritual vein as his fuel, forging relentlessly within his own dantian to reshape an artificial sun with supreme energy. Form transition complete. Congratulations, host. Successfully broken through to the early golden core stage. Current reactor output upper limit increased to 1000%. New ability unlocked. Domain nuclear blast magnetic field. Divine manifestation mecha form. As the golden core solidified, a terrifying pressure erupted from Li Pingyan's body. This pressure surged skyward through the shattered energy tower. Meanwhile, high above at 10,000 meters, in the floating city headquarters of the Azure Cloud Chable. Sensor. Trouble. The energy supply from the lower city's 7th spiritual vein has been suddenly severed. Not only that, an incredibly vast, unknown energy is impacting our defensive network from underground. What? The 7th vein has been cut off? But there are over 3,000 meters of rock strata and defensive arrays down there. Who could have done this so quickly? An utter disgrace. This is a slap in the face of the Azure Cloud Chable. Where's Jianzi? Has Jianzi departed yet? Secmaster. And his inhibitor has been completely removed.
Awesome. The current me, even if I stand still and let that kind of orbital cannon bombard me for a day, won't even get a scratch.
Warning. Detecting an extremely dangerous single life form approaching at high speed. Target mental state, extremely unstable. Hee. Ha ha ha. Found you. Fresh flesh and blood. What a delicious energy signature. The Qingyun Zaibatsu's #1 weapon. A terminal stage cyberpsycho. Jinzi, your golden core smells so fragrant. Can I dig it out and use it as a yo-yo?
Want to play ball, huh? This humble Taoist is in a good mood today. I'll grant you one. A super great-tailed spiral nuke to try.
Hee. No matter what kind of ball, just slice it open to see. He. So hard. But I can still cut it.
Pseudo-nascent soul level particle cutting force. You can even forcibly split a nuclear blast. Interesting, but that's not enough to impress. Nuclear fist thrust. Enhanced version. Back off, you.
What? That hurt. Wonderful. I must have your body. Sword 2 mode, activate. This sword formation was made from the brains of 100 Foundation Establishment stage sword cultivators.
A sword formation of 10,000 flying swords. Today, this humble Taoist will be merciful and teach you, you psycho, what true cyber cultivation combat is. Jade Disc of Creation. Unfold for me. Domain. Nuclear blast magnetic field.
What sorcery is this? My network connection is cut. Impossible. How can quantum communication be jammed?
Quantum communication? In the face of absolute magnetic field chaos. Forget quantum comms, even light itself. I can make it bend. You like playing with swords? Swords.
My swords. No, this can't be. Come back. Return to me.
Your swords? Now, they belong to Lee. In his humble Taoist domain, all metal, all electronic devices, must kneel before me.
In barely 5 seconds. Jinzi's ultimate modified body, said to withstand tier 4 mutant beasts, was pinned by his own proud sword family formation into a living, breathing honeycomb.
Sword cultivators, all flashy nonsense. Can't beat this humble Taoist's physical deliverance.
Hostile entity eliminated. Qingyun Zaibatsu's ultimate weapon, Jinzi. Tianji Pavilion bounty order on host has been automatically cleared. Congratulations, host. Cross-dire elimination successful. Current reputation value.
Qing Shinzi. Your biggest trump card. Is that all you've got? Next up. Now it's truly an all-out war, since the rules of this cultivation world are set by the Chables. Then today, I'll use this nuclear core pill to blow your rules to smithereens.
Li Pingyan's figure flashed, transforming into a soaring golden streak of light. He shot straight towards the floating city through the underground tunnel he just blasted. Enemy attack. Maximum alert. Target approaching at 3 times the speed of sound. Biometrics identified. It's Li Pingyan. What? He's still alive? Inside the floating city, countless golden core stage, Foundation Establishment stage, and even refined stage spirit masters. The Chables' private armies were urgently awakened. They either rode particle flying swords, or boarded spiritual energy hovercrafts, densely forming layer upon layer of defensive lines, intercepting the direction from which Li Pingyan was charging.
You think these small fries can stop me? Domain. Nuclear magnetic field. Full power deployment.
All electronic devices, all particle flying swords, all spiritual weapons, without exception, malfunctioned. Flying swords lost power, hovercrafts lost anti-gravity. The moment they entered this magnetic field range, it was as if someone had instantly hit the pause button on everything. How is this kid's golden core so powerful? It can instantly paralyze the entire airspace's energy and communication. He has a miniature star inside him. That's not a golden core. That's an artificial sun. No wonder he can withstand the orbital cannon. No wonder he can devour spirit veins. He's an absolute madman. A madman? Before my Qingyun Chable. He doesn't even have the right to bark. I am the leader of Qingyun Chable, mid-stage nascent soul. You rebels. Today, I'll reduce you to ashes. Sword, come! Qingyun Chable's Sect Treasure, the supreme infinite data sword. It draws upon the computing power accumulated over millennia by the entire floating city. Data streams and spiritual energy can cut through both the physical and the soul.
Oh, mid-stage nascent soul and a data stream sword. Now, this is getting interesting.
Li Pingyan instead spread his arms wide. His entire body once again transformed into that 50-meter tall steel Adhere, manifested by the terrifying energy from the golden core within him, truly forming a terrifying entity with a physical form. A law manifestation comparable to a starfaring mech.
Creation Jade Disc, maximum output. You think my law manifestation is only 50 meters tall? Late-stage golden core is beyond what you old relics can imagine.
What? Li Pingyan's avatar transformed into a kilometer-tall giant mech manifestation. Just a gentle twist. And the supreme non-polar data sword, which had absorbed 10,000 years of data from the floating city, was actually snapped in two by him. Impossible. This is the Dharma body of heaven and earth, a technique only possible at the great perfection of nascent soul stage. How could a golden core stage cultivator?
Great perfection of nascent soul. My golden core is an artificial sun forged by you old fools using nuclear fusion fuel.
Madman. He's going to self-destruct. He intends to perish together with the entire floating city.
I said it before, my lexicon is still missing. Some divine material. Trying to run? Too late. Perish, Azure Cloud Zaibatsu.
The floating city, the entire atmosphere of Dantian star, was ignited by this sudden supernova annihilation. The dazzling glare even pierced through the atmosphere, captured by cosmic detectors far beyond the galaxy, mistaken for a supernova explosion of a nearby star. All that remained was an immense, bottomless black void on the spot, proving that a behemoth named the Azure Cloud Zaibatsu once dominated everything here. Leaping in silhouette, floated quietly at the center of the void. His titanium tungsten alloy flesh body was now pitted and scarred. His right arm had been completely vaporized.
He survived.
Host detected successfully defeating the Azure Cloud Zaibatsu. Golden core stage reaction. Flesh body strength elevated to celestial level. Unlocked. Nascent soul stage artificial black hole core matrix. The Jade Disk of Creation gains vast computational power. Star map projection initiated.
The flesh is weak. Today, this humble Taoist with his broken body shall deliver all of you silicon-based lives who deem yourselves gods.
His journey is among the stars and the vast sea.